yeah. Fire, fire, yeah. Single women own millions more homes than single men in the US, and the gap is only growing. Huh. Shocker. Alright, chat, place your bets. Is the increased ownership of these houses by women because A, they've been making more money off of the back of the DEI policies for the last 4 years? Or is it B, they're taking houses in divorces? Or I've got another one. C, this article is bait and they don't actually own more houses. What do you think, A, B, or C? A, DEI, B, divorce, or C, they don't actually own more houses? I thought we lived in a patriarchy. Why isn't that what I catch? All of the above. Ooh, okay, all right. We got a mix of answers. I like this. I like this. I like this a lot. Let's keep reading. God, this music is so good for reading this. Okay. Despite the persistent gender pay gap, single women are securing home ownership at significantly higher rates than their male counterparts. That's according to a new analysis of the U.S. Census of Bureau of Data, which found that single women own about 2.72 million more homes than single men, bucking traditional financial trends. It's no secret that women in the U.S. typically earn less than men. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, women's median weekly earnings amount to just 83.6% of men's. But when it comes to home ownership, the tables have turned. Scratching my little fox chin over here. We're starting strong, talking about the gender pay gap. I almost said gay gap because I have a Freudian slip with that word for some godforsaken reason. Chat can attest to this. I don't know why, but pay gap makes me say gay gap, and I don't know why. So, they word it in this way that I think is disingenuous because it's actually not incorrect. The gender pay gap implies women make less than men in the same fields, which isn't true. But in reality, what happens is women do make less than men because of job preference. We've discussed this before, so I won't get into it. Long story short, women, teachers, men, truck drivers. I love my truck, I love cranking my hog, and I love riding the open road. You know what I'm saying? That's right, cake on the clap. And they work for your hours. Oh my gosh. Okay, I know this is anecdotal, just before I keep reading. When I worked a job, like a 9 to 5, there were so many women constantly calling out, oh, my kid's sick. Okay, that's fine. Like, I understand, right? Like, I get it. Your kid comes first. But, like, oh, no, I feel sick. I'm hungover. Like, generally speaking, again, this is my anecdotal experience. I'm not saying every workplace is like this, but I worked with predominantly women and then, like, a few men. 99% of the time when they called out, it was a fucking girl. Genuinely. And it was always like, oh, well, I'm saying that I'm sick, but I just don't feel like working today. I'm like, what do you mean you don't feel like working? Like, I have to work or I don't have, I just can't. I'm gonna die. You know? But anyway. In 47 out of 50 states, single women who live alone are more likely to own a home than their single male counterparts. Nationwide, single women own 11.14 million homes, while single men only own 8.42 million million. Huh, that's really interesting. That means single women control 13.01% of owner-occupied homes compared to 9.83% for single men. This gendered home ownership gap is also growing. In 2022, the difference stood at 2.71 million. By 2023, the gap expanded by nearly 15,000 more homes in favor of women. New Mexico, Mississippi, and West Virginia boast the highest rate of single women home owners. Ah, yes, the patriarchy, yep. West Virginia, Mountain Mama. Wonder what could be causing this. Well, I wonder if it has nothing to do with money. I have to think about this. I wonder if it's a cultural shift where men are giving up on dating, so they're spending their money on other things that make them happy, or just saving it. Meanwhile, women still have this, like, nest-making instinct, so they're buying houses. Like, I don't know. Again, this is just statistics. I don't know, chat. It's entirely possible this topic that they're talking about doesn't have anything to do with the gender war. But, you know, I guess we'll see. I'll just keep reading. New Mexico, Mississippi, West Virginia boast the highest percentages of homes owned by single women. Oh, damn. New Mexico... Alabama's up here. Huh. Interesting. Florida, South Carolina, West Virginia, Ohio, and Kentucky. What's going on in Kentucky? I like KFC, huh? Cheap real estate? I don't think so. I don't think so. In these states, women living alone own between 14.73 and 15.26 of owner-occupied homes, significantly outpacing men. Meanwhile, Delaware, Connecticut have the most pronounced gender gaps in home ownership, with women outpacing men by more than 5 percentage points in each state. Conversely, men have a rare advantage in just 3 states, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Alaska, where they hold a slight edge in home ownership rates. That's so specific. Why is it just North and South Dakota and then Alaska? I wonder why that is. How have single women managed to outpace men in home ownership despite earning less? I love this framing too. The answer isn't simple, but a few key factors are at play. I wonder why. That's so weird. Is it like a trad wife culture thing? Do the Dakotas and Alaskas... Sorry. Do the Dakotas and the Alaska, like, have more trad women that aren't interested in buying houses while they're single? Or maybe those states have, like, more men-favored jobs? Like, I know Alaska has, like, oil jobs and stuff. Do the Dakotas, like, have, like, a lot of trucking jobs or something? Or, like, oil rigs? I don't know. I don't fucking live there. Maybe trad life seems possible, oil drilling, inheritance. There's no way just 3 states like that. People are more old school in Dakota? Yeah, again, I mean, this is anecdotal. Like, I don't know how it works over there. But then again, like, Texas has a lot of oil drilling and offshore drilling, don't they? Like, there's mainly jobs that pay well in lots of places, like Texas. But they also have Austin, which has tons of office-centered jobs, which is where the girl bosses are making money, so I guess it makes sense that they aren't on the list. Like, I don't know, very interesting, chat, very interesting. Experts suggest that women are more willing to make financial sacrifices to become homeowners. Additionally, millennial women in certain cities such as Allentown, Pennsylvania, and Portland, Maine, actually out-earn their male counterparts, helping them afford home ownership. But age also plays a role. Huh. Okay. Interesting. Pardon me, had to yawn. Women tend to live longer than men, meaning many single female homeowners are widows who either inherited their homes or purchased new ones after the death of a spouse. Chief Credit Analysis Matt summed up the findings. It's pretty eye-opening that 3 million more single women than single men own a home, given the unique economic headwinds that women in this country face, including earning less than men on average. That is no small feat. I believe it speaks to the sacrifices that many women are willing to make in order to make a better financial life. Okay, I mean, it's the New York's Post chat, so keep your expectations low, bro. Obviously, they're gonna glaze women. It's kind of crazy though that they'll mention widows but not divorce rates. Like, where are the stats on that? It's kind of crazy that you left it out. But what I think is that these women are making more money than men in some towns. And to clarify, chat, that doesn't mean there's a gender pay gap and they're paying women more. It's because those towns have jobs that are more woman focused. In other words, there's like probably no oil rigs, not many truck drivers. Maybe there's less construction as well. That's a really man job. Like, you don't see a lot of women in construction. And in these areas, but there are like more female oriented lucrative jobs like healthcare and office work, or like, I don't know, school districts. That doesn't explain the national gap though, because overall I think like men make more money because nationally there are enough jobs that women don't want to do that pay well. So men overall make more money, right? Like, it's gotta just be a culture shift, right? That's what I think. They pay women in Montana because most men do construction work. But we're not talking about Montana. We're talking about mostly East Coast. Like, look how many East Coast states say that there's a disparity in home ownership. Exactly. Like, that's what I think. Let's read on, though. Schultz also noted that women simply have other priorities. Okay. Some of it could simply come down to the fact that single women are more willing than single men to prioritize homeownership. Buying a house generally isn't something you do on a whim. It's a process you have to commit to. Okay. While single women are leading in home ownership, that doesn't necessarily translate to greater financial security. The study shows that women still face long-term economic struggles at higher rates than men, particularly after divorce. And while some might assume that higher home ownership rates mean women financially benefit from divorce settlements, research suggests the opposite. Many women experience a significant financial decline post-divorce. I love the cope, man. It's so disingenuous. They finally mentioned divorce at the end of the article, but then try and word it like women aren't nationally favored in divorce settlements. It says women suffer more financially after a divorce. It doesn't say women receive less during divorce settlements. Like, you notice how they frame it like that. Fucking obviously, man. Because men generally work the jobs that make more money. So on average, when the average couple gets divorced, men, on average, I keep using this word, on average, make more money. Women, on average, will suffer more from the divorce because they don't have as much money. However, it's literally that fact that pushes most judges to award women the fucking house after a divorce, especially if they have children. Especially if they have children, bro. Like, if you just turn on your brain for 2 seconds, it makes perfect sense. But no, this is New York Post. Gotta tiptoe around it. And like I said, bro, it's crazy. Check male offering after divorce. It is insane, man. Court sides with females, it is a national statistic average. And I looked ahead, I chat GPT'd it. In the United States, women historically have been more likely to receive favorable outcomes in divorce settlements. But this is not because the law explicitly favors women. Instead, the outcomes are more often influenced by traditional gender roles, income disparities, and caregiving roles. Interesting. Using ChatGPT, hell nah. Are you serious? It's compiling what's already on the internet. If I Google it, it's actually gonna be fucking worse. Gaslighting? I mean, it's just funny, man. Use Bing. Yeah, I'm gonna start using Bing. I'm an AI hater. Well, you can hate all you want. I respect that. And Google, yes, Google unironically is way worse than ChatGPT in terms of accuracy, but that's besides the point. My point is that this is a very biased article. It doesn't, it keeps harping on about gender pay gap. And it goes and harps on and on about it, and then at the end it says, oh, well, women suffer more after the divorce, even though they statistically get more money and are usually the ones that get custody and the kids, no matter if the man is in the right or in the wrong. You have to be in an extremely, I wouldn't say extremely biased state, I think that's the wrong word, but there's very few states where they don't favor women in certain situations. Again, I have no issue with a truck driver earning more money because men are more inclined to work longer hours. Women get more money, yet they suffer more. I wonder who's behind that. Oh, women. It's so crazy. They suffer emotionally. Everyone suffers emotionally. Do you know how horrible divorces are? Again, anecdotally speaking, I remember there was a girl in my class that had her parents divorced when she was like 12, man. Her parents were distraught. It was horrible. And again, it affects your kids, but divorce is horrible for everybody. Men don't have emotions, true. They're just rage baiting everyone. No, it's not rage bait. It's just disingenuous journalism. Mary Kay Jacob, you purposefully take statistics, but then you don't lean into the fact that, you know, women unironically get more out of it. They get the house, but somehow they suffer more. That's interesting. Interesting how that works. My brother had to sell his house and give his ex 100% of the equity. He also had to pay the taxes. Yeah, the taxes aren't pretty. They're like, what, like 15%? Or more, depending on where you live. It's crazy. I don't know, man. Skill issue. Cringe.